Today we're taking it to the dust, bro.
To the dust.
To the dust, bro.
All right.
The
okay.
beginnings, bro.
To the beginning, the genesis, if you will, or not necessarily genesis, but somewhat of a genesis to probably one of the biggest genres in the world right now.
In the world right now,
fair to say.
Yeah.
And you know, as everything, there's humble beginnings, and yeah. But do you remember back then when that an unknown Kabza the Small dropping these piano bangers with Bo Mshove and
Amabele Shy. Back when Kabza used to take 5 black labels as payment.
As payment, you know, for you know.
Go fika ra ka 5 clip or one ka 6 PS one time. Mara nersa give up because nerse borre go ya.
Nah, bro. And shout out to the work ethic of this guy and all the other guys that were involved in the rise of Amapiano.
And again, also, if we're gonna talk about Kabza, we also have to talk about the big man who hey man, don't get cute. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm joking. Honestly, what's crazy is the fact that at that point in his career, which is what 2019, right? 2018, he had already solidified himself as like that was a Hall of Fame career already, bro. He was collaborating with the biggest artists in the world, had like a great catalog to rest off of, but for the fact that, bro, you know, him and Kabza, he did it again. His ability.
He found another gem in South African music, bro.
You know, we won't touch on all these other things. I think just from the music aspect, you can tell his ability to just work with all these different people and to make just good music.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it all just culminates into what we're going to be talking about today. I think it's a special review. It's another one of our, you know, taking it all the way back.
Yeah.
It's an anniversary review.
It's been 5 years, bro.
5 years.
5 years, bro.
Wow. Since the drop of Scorpion King's EP. Is it EP or?
They say it's an EP, but when they classify it, it falls under studio album.
But I think when we know it is just the Scorpion King's EP. Yeah. And man, what a project.
What a time, bro.
What a time.
Bro.
Just, I think, you see, this is an album that genuinely you can say, nah, this really dropped at the right time, at a very sweet spot when the game just needed that, you know?
It needed a shake.
It needed that shake up. And I'd say, bro, this album and the Scorpion Kings, you know, when they talk about disruptors, people who just disrupt and basically say, we need to just take the Kings, they had arrived at that point. And I think you and I, when we were discussing or conceptualizing this episode, we genuinely said, nah, this we need to have a specific episode especially for this, because this is, as they say, a classic. I'm already getting ahead of myself. This is a classic. Do you think we should run through our criteria for our listeners and watchers?
Of course, because this one's going to be a different review.
It's a
dance album, and the producers are the lead artists, in fact.
In this instance, yes.
And you know, our criteria goes artist performance, features, content, production, replay value.
Yep.
And now you're asking yourself, hey, my artist performance,
Kabza.
How are we going to rate that one? How are we going to rate Maphorisa's artist performance?
Just to say, you know what? I like the way he clicked the mouse. That one song. Ooh, I like the way he just like mixed and matched. Like
I like the way that he feel the electricity bill, bro. I like the Nando's that he bought, bro.
Okay.
I like the hours that Kabza put in, bro, in the studio, bro.
It's like, man, honestly, top tier. So since we don't actually know, because I think, again, and I think with dance albums, because this is not the first dance album review we're going to do, I think with this one, because it's very difficult to specifically just like pinpoint artist performance, we're just going to scrap that one for this episode. It's still going to be existing, but just for this episode, we're just going to scrap it, and the rest of our criteria are going to stand and still be there, irrelevant for what we're going to talk about today.
And also the order is going to change.
Okay.
Since I mentioned again, the lead artists of this album are producers.
Yeah.
So I think it's only fair for us to start with the production of the album.
Started on the bang.
Yeah.
On the bang.
We're going to start with the production.
All right.
Then we'll head into the features, which mention again the features, performance of the guest artists. the performance of the guest artists and the way it made sense with the album, the content. People are probably asking themselves, it's a piano album. What are we going to take out? But rest assured, we do have some stuff to talk about.
We are intricate with these things.
We do have some stuff to talk about in here. So, the themes that they touched on and lyrical content and stuff.
I think enough of the chit chat. Let's just get into it, man. Let's just get into it with the production. And between the two of us, you are more of the piano enthusiast. So I think I'd like for you to just get us started and just give us your thoughts.
Bro, I feel like if someone asks you, like, name me an Amapiano album or name me something an album music that will get me into the piano genre, I think this one would be at the tip of my tongue, bro.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah, no homo, but yeah, but yeah, this one would be there, bro. Because like, if I want to explain to someone what is an Amapiano album, bro.
Yes.
What is I'm passionate about this genre because this is music made by us, for us.
For us, yeah.
And it's taken over the world.
Yeah, it's taken over the world. So it really just has a close place in our hearts. It's close to home. To home, yeah. And
bro, like, Amapiano started off as just the instrumental with the bass and stuff like that.
And it's evolved.
But here, they took it up a notch. Let's add vocalists on this, bruh. I think the production of the vocalists, bruh, the vocal clarity in the vocal, you wouldn't expect this from guys who produce Kostudio Sakokasi using Fruity Loops. No hate on Fruity Loops, but
no, I get what you're saying.
But
definitely,
bro, like the vocal clarity was on. The instrumentals, bruh. The bass drops, bruh. The art of the bass drop has been lost somewhere, somehow in piano. But on this one, bruh, Koko, Fulavala, Miropa, like, Fetu, Kiskupu Galo, bro, on this one.
Yeah,
bruh.
I love that.
Bruh.
I love that.
It's just the Skupu. And obvious, bro, Kabza with the keys, bruh.
No, I think I just want to touch on, you made a lot of great points. Damn, you really, you cooked there. Nah, you cooked. This is
my album,
you cooked. This is
my album.
Because I'd say when you said the vocal clarity, because again, with dance albums, the strength really comes from how it sounds and also from the guest artists that are going to come on. So those are very important parts, and one should not sacrifice the other. It shouldn't just be a thing of like, no, let's make the beat super fire and then we'll just have the artists be okay. But anyways, not necessarily artists perform, but I was just saying, yeah, in terms of vocal clarity, absolutely pristine, absolutely pinpoint. But again, if we're going to talk about production, and we just listen to so many absolute, from the first song, Amantombazane, and you just hear, and obviously now they're looking at this 5 years, and now it became that huge smash hit. But even when you listen to it again, because again, we whenever we decide to do an album review, we take time, we listen to it multiple times, just get our thoughts fresh. And again, from the first time, it's like
bro, those chords,
so bro, and literally just gets you into it. And again, just so smooth, soulful, and and again, it sounds so great. But I like the fact that we have sweet, soulful songs like Amantombazane and Lirato. Again, one of my deep cuts, one of my favorite songs on this album, genuinely. And then we have the bangers, as you said, Ishigubu, right there, Utraiva, boom, right there, and then what's this, Utupai, right then and there, and of course, I think the Shigubu of the more Vulavala. What do you mean, bro?
Coco.
I mean, I was gonna get to that. I would say Coco is more like the more smoother, soulful types. Obviously, the log
hybrid.
It was a hybrid. It was a nice kid hybrid
yeah.
Of like, okay, the log, but okay. Otherwise, I was just using examples just to say that the fact that this album really knew how to make a perfect balance of just like the banger, boom, like actually like the groove songs that you're gonna need just to move your body, and the soulful types of very smooth piano songs with the right amount, with the lock drum also there. That if it's not piano unless it has that lock drum there. Bro. So again, I think from a production standpoint, it sounds good, bro. It sounds so great 5 years later, and I can still take myself back to listening to it when we were back in Mpumalanga, and listening to it in high school. And, you know, you and I going with the transport, and, you know, our transport would blast the music super loud.
We had the best sound system, bro.
Best sound system
the love for music,
in
bro.
school. Yeah. Shout out to Fresh, our driver from high school. Honestly, like, I'm just taking myself back because it just sounds so great.
Facts, bro.
And, honestly.
I wanted to touch on, you know, Vigro Deep had his moment in mainstream piano here in South Africa. Yeah. He's doing major things now in Europe. Yeah. But when he was still in South Africa and making music for us, bruh, the things that he did on Vulaval and Dubai, bruh.
Yeah. That was
because I think you could hear it. That's his signature sound, fellas.
Yeah. That's his Vigro, and I think that's what made people just lose their. Yeah. Especially that part of that. Like go. Like, oh, bro.
That was crazy.
It was absolutely crazy. And again, like, you're just listening to this album, you're listening to it, and you're just saying that, bro, how can an album just sound so good? Because sometimes, you know, music can be a product of its time. Maybe, you know, and I think what's just from this morning when I was listening to this again, one of my roommates, I was playing the album, and one of my roommates was just saying, hey, bro, you're playing this classic nice Amapiano, dog. And I'm just saying, and that time he's not really a piano fan, but for the fact that he was just saying that really, this album, in terms of what it sounds like, it kind of captured what piano sounded like in that time.
Yeah.
And definitely, I'd say, if we can say this was the real genesis of like piano booming into the mainstream, it needed to really sound like, okay, wow, this is piano. This is, when we're presenting piano to you, this is what it sounds like. And like, yeah, and then obviously it can evolve. It can sound like this, it can sound like that. But
yeah,
I'd say from a production standpoint,
like, it was cohesive. I like that you mentioned the blend between soulful and Scoop. That was too much, bro. Bass lines, too much. Percussions, it was on. Vocals, chords, piano. I wouldn't be erratic or crazy for saying this. Production is a 10 out of 10, bro. It's perfect.
Ooh,
it's perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't find any faults in this, bro.
No, I genuinely, I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Nah, honestly, again, when I finished listening to it, like the first time I listened to it, I was just like, bro, that sounded so amazing. That sounded so fresh, and I could listen to this again, and I'll still feel the same way. So genuinely, I'm gonna give it a 10 as well. I think genuinely it really was just, from a production standpoint, they, you know, Maphorisa, Kabza, the Scorpion Kings, they knew what they were doing. They assembled the right amount of songs. They assembled it in the right way. Everything, arrangements, and just delivery. It was too good. It was great.
Good, yeah, and I like that you said, like, they assembled the right amount of songs, the right amount of what else?
Arrangement. The arrangement. Yes, how? Please, jeez, okay.
And you know what else they assembled? A stellar cast for this. The features, brother. The features, brother.
Yeah. And I think, again, I always like to say this, great features are what take a good album into becoming a great album. Because if you are able to get the right people that are able to gel and mix and match in the right way, it really can just take it can take the sound to a whole different level. And I think now with a dance album and a piano album, the strength really is in the features, especially with the vocalists. And I'd say there are a lot of artists here that we would end up seeing doing great things at the point they were still,
this as their platform,
and this was with this as their platform. And I think, you know, please just hit me with a couple of names, just so that
I'm just gonna start with track 1, bro.
Okay.
Something so weird. His heart was painful, bro. That all these girls want him, bro. Like, it's crazy, bro. The emotional depth that he put into a Amapiano song.
I think as well, for the fact that he had just come off of
Aganaman.
Yeah, he just come
breakthrough,
his breakthrough
2017,
18, and again, just the perfect song to start off this album, and his performance himself just absolutely great. And I think again he would end up going on to do great and amazing things in the realm of piano. And I think in terms of great
you touched on Lerato being your deep cut.
Yeah, that was my deep cut in terms of the song.
Smith, bro.
Bontle Smith, absolutely. That
was my introduction to her, bro.
Really, I think it was an introduction to a lot of people. I'd say because even though it wasn't the big smash, what's nice about this song is that even though they are the big songs, the bangers, but then there are a few songs that did really well because the album itself did so well that even for the people that were not even on the massive songs, they still went on to do great things because of their performances. And Bontle Smith, again, just such a smooth, beautiful, melodic, and again, I like the fact that you touched on so much emotional depth.
Bruh. Just injected like a soul vibe to it, a romantic energy. Like this is the song that you can play we're just chilling at a wedding, waiting for the bride to come down the aisle.
All right.
And we can play that. We can play that. That just shows adding on to the production. That just shows the range that the Scorpion Kings managed to tap into, and the features, bro.
Yes,
they fit into the overall sound of
comes
this
together
of
in
this,
the best way. Yeah, I agree. Great from Bottle. Literally, bro, we're going track from track, and literally I can literally. So again, the next song, Driver.
Emotional depth aside, now we are done with emotional depth.
We put that on the side. They're there. We're just gonna put that right there.
Now let's go to the Nkwari now. Let's go to the dance now. And I think that I'm sure you see he brought his dome energy into piano.
Into piano.
Another nod to the Scorpion Kings, bro. Another nod to the Scorpion Kings. This is so unexpected.
Very unexpected. Because again, we knew him from Memeza at that point, and also he was he's
Memeza on this one again.
And again, he was coming off of huge smash hits with Omunye.
Yeah.
So again, you see Zlatlam Shinglisi, and you're like, okay, Zlatlam Shinglisi, Amapiano. Okay, we'll hear how this sounds. And again, to a T, absolute just killed it. Killed it with the chorus, and just gave such an energy to a banger of a song. Literally just gets you in the mood, because that's just genuinely what he does. And I think he really did that. And again, shout out to Professor as well.
The OG.
Yeah, the OG again. Just showing that his longevity as well.
Yeah.
Don't count him out.
Don't sleep on him, bro.
Nah. So I'd say again, Professor did a great job. I don't know if you want to move on to...
there's Tsizo, bruh. Let's not forget Tsizo. They're on Miropa, bruh.
Yeah.
With the craziest opening line, bro. This guy went papa. That was his opening line. That was crazy.
It's okay. Oh, okay. Well, this is
no, but it worked, bruh.
No, it did.
It worked, bruh. Also, Mahau Keys and Coco.
I think we kind of need to probably just speak about that song itself, because again, when we think of this album, we always think of the signature songs, and I'd say one thing, there are those maybe 2 or 3 songs that are unanimous amongst the entire community of music listeners, and this song is up there. And again, more keys, Oh,
we're back to emotional depth now.
Yeah, we're back there again.
Even though it wasn't really touching. You couldn't hear what he's saying, bruh.
To be fair, I genuinely, to this day, I still go, and that's fine. It's okay. I mean, I can check the lyrics, but I don't want to, because I just feel I just
if to the point where when I started understanding what the song is about, and also the music video touches on it, they were in the kobo.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There, he's actually saying, Dumelang, Koko.
Hey.
Dumelang. Well, when I realized that that's what he's saying, it took out the fun out of saying.
But okay, jokes aside. Jokes aside, I'd say more keys. I'd say he was the standout. I'd say he's probably. I have my number 1 standout performer of this album, but he's right behind by this much. But I'd say Moki's such a highlight of the album, and such a great performance. Again, credit to the Scorpion Kings. I feel like we need to constantly, just to say, these guys, they just knew how to get the right people and just make them gel to make this absolute great body of work. But again, I just want to move on to who my standout performance was, to what I think was the song of this album. I stand on that.
Yeah, you
the
can
song,
stand on that, bro.
Vulavala. Absolute, just like, doesn't matter what era you play this in, doesn't matter how many years from now you'll play this, it's still a banger. No quasi. No quasi.
Again, bro. I like something that I just realized right now, like Professor. No quasi.
Yes.
That's his Kwaito with Professor, Modern Kwaito.
Yeah.
That's Afro House.
Afro House with
Nokwazi.
Boom.
With Dlajam Shunisi. Like the fact that the Scorpion Kings were able to take artists from different genres and put them.
But to be fair, I'd say piano in a lot of ways is a amalgamation of different genres that has kind of just, because I'd say you can't say Kwaito. There is a mix of Kwaito. There is a mix of Afro punk, Afro house. Afro house. Afro house.
Pop too.
Yeah, like there's so many different like ventures that are mixed up to create what piano is today. Obviously with its own little, signatures. But I'd say for those features to work, I think it makes sense. And I think, again, credit to the Scorpion Kings for saying, okay, I see you doing Dom there. I see you doing Afro House. I see you being, a Kwaito legend. But now let's come into this piano thing.
Yeah.
And let's make it work. Again, because again, it's very easy to say, okay, we're going to take, but it doesn't always work. But again, credit to them. But again, I just want to say, no quasi.
Right. Oh yes.
Vulavala.
Oh yes.
Nah, bro.
Oh yes.
Nah, bro. Honestly, she, for me, standout performance, the feature of this album, the song of the album, the highlight for me, genuinely, it's just such a great song and just such a, honestly, bro, I genuinely.
And I'd like to touch on some other ladies on this.
Go for it.
Shasha.
Oh yeah, Shasha, yeah.
On Way Mama.
Way Mama, yeah.
She did his thing. No, so Kanyisa Jacqueline, bro. We touched on her.
We touched on this, yeah. The fact that Kanyisa, I only, like, when I re-saw the track list, I'm like, oh, Kanyisa. Because obviously we've seen what she's went on to do now, multiple selling artists, platinum selling artists, and now literally humble beginnings and, simple, just a great performance, just like, Suka Ma.
Man. They even, Tyler ICU, I think, sampled this song on one of his latest hits when he was on the crazy run last year.
Yeah.
The song Suka.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Sampled
I didn't even know
that. This year.
Okay.
Also, Umakoza there with Vumanibo. That was different, but that was an outlier, bro. That was an outlier for me, bro.
I was gonna say that there's a little outlier with this album, as good as it is, but that one was the one I don't know. That one was I didn't feel it. That one. See, all the features worked for me, but that one, I think it just when you're like Sihamba so and it just that little, it was just that little venture side. But I'd say again, production kind of saved it in a lot of ways. But I'd say otherwise, just to like sum it all up, features were absolute. Of course, we need to mention the producers on the various songs. I'd say Maphorisa Souls on Amantomazan. I'd say Vigro on Dubai and what's this? Vulavala. Thank you. And sorry, I also want to touch Velo on the song. There's a song that we touched on. Your
PG, parental guidance is advised.
Your shit. Moonchild, Sanele, and Lehleza. Lehleza, a very great collaborator with Kabza. Moonchild doing her thing with her little energy. I love that song. I just feel like it's such in terms of the content, it's very, very vulgar. It's very vulgar and very nonsensical. But again, it just brings that energy, that vibe, that great, just like, fun, awesome dance energy that you need in a dance album like this. And I'd say great performance from Moonchild and Lehleza. So yeah, genuinely. But otherwise, now I think otherwise, just to sum it up into a nice, cute little bow, features were just absolutely standout. Really, just did exactly what they needed to do. Scorpion Kings produced them to a T in terms of how they felt they wanted them to sound on these various different sounding songs.
Yeah, for sure.
But everything just came together. So yeah, I'd say in terms of a rating, I would give features a 9 out of 10 for me. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I'd say every song, every artist did what they needed to do, except just for that one song. Maphorisa, I'm sorry, my very, like, you did what you needed to do.
I hear you, Chet. No.
Okay.
But, okay, Maphorisa's feature, it was fire during that time. I'd say the hit on it is that it did not age quite well.
Not really. No, not really. Not really.
Like, it did not age well. I'd say that's why I'd have to agree with you. Because coming into this review, I had it at a 10. I had the features at a 10.
Okay.
But it was that thing where, like,
you re-listened to it.
It's a Scorpion Kings album. And I enjoyed it in terms of the whole album. But when I look back at it, like, it did not really age well. So that's why it's going to take off a point there.
No,
and it's going to be amazing. And nonetheless, it's amazing features.
Awesome.
9 out of 10, bro.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, cool. I think we've touched on production. We've touched on features.
Yeah.
Content now. Okay.
You touched on Licheza and Moonchild and Nelly a bit. I feel like we should start there.
Okay.
Again, PG, parental guidance is advised.
Yeah.
Bro, like, when you hear this song, bruh, like, it just brings out a different vibe.
A different type and shit. Like,
it just brings out a different vibe.
Hey. Oh, yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
I feel like this song would have fit in well with Abo Izo, bruh.
Oh, okay.
This song would have fit in well with the previous, the old school shows, bruh.
Okay.
Abo Intersections, Abo Says Top La.
Okay.
Bro, this song.
Okay. I don't know where you're going, but I'm
Moonchild
okay.
Nelly, bruh. What's saying Penin? Nenes. Namakondop. Some of the most random lines, bro. Neshampopo, like, I could give you a child. I will give you another child, a yellow bone. I'll give you like
a yellow boy.
What is happening? Moonchild Saneli didn't sing.
But
in the context of the song, bruh, when you put in the fact that this song was made to be played a dusty, this song was made to be played a groove.
And you see, a groove, bro. People don't really give two craps about. In fact, it's about having a nice catchy hook that people can sing along to. Nothing that's too complicated. People that can remember, something that people can remember very easy. And again, content itself was pretty nonsensical, pretty ridiculous. It's basically like random generalize of like, let's just like, okay, here's a word, write it down. Here's another word, okay, write it down. Here's another concept, and just putting it all together. But I'd say for the context of the album, I'd say it did what it needed to did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
But
and a lot of chants were like derived from specifically this song, especially like the rhyme scheme that Licheza chose. Like the also the one that Moonchild chose, like Nankaufa, that part. I've seen it be. I don't have the exact example right now, but in a lot of sports events, that has been turned into a lot of guicho and a lot of groove chants. Most of this,
I hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'd say with content, especially with dance albums, for me, I do feel as though I don't know. I'd say it's. I don't know what to say. I feel like with the dance albums, it's more so a case of just like, okay, we're here, we're listening to the songs, great production. I'm not really gonna remember much of what's being said in terms of like. I'd say not really much. Obviously, there's the love songs that are there, Amantomazan, Lirato, and there's the banger songs up there. But I'm not really taking much from that in terms of, okay, that song is talking about this. I would say even with Dubai, it was like, sure, it's like, spending, all that, like, all these types of things, but not necessarily am I taking much from it. But I'd say, again, I did get some stuff out of this album in terms of like, okay, the different subject matters, this here, there, but again, it's a dance album, so there's not much content. I don't know how you feel.
I think the content strong point in this album is not much the context.
Not context or
context.
It's
about the relatability and the accessibility.
Okay. That's okay. I like that. Yeah.
The moment, bruh. At that moment,
in that moment,
like, utuzovula. When you're there at groove, you're thinking very uzovala or uzovula.
Yeah.
Amantombazane, like, the relatability that it is my heart is painful that when I'm there, all your friends want me. And you want me. Mara when I so fast wheel and you're there with your outie there.
It's like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah.
The relatability, like taking a private jet, we said Dubai. Like,
okay, fair. I'd say in that when you put it like that, yeah, for sure. I'd say that it makes sense in that perspective. Maybe for me, I just didn't see it in that way. Just because, again, when I listen to most dance albums, I'm not like I'm mostly listening to, is this something that's going to get me grooving? Is this something that's going to get me in a nice lacquer vibe?
But it did that.
But it did. Yeah. I'd say it did that to an absolute T. Did it? It was great. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'd say in terms of content, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for me. I'd say I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Bro. Genuinely, bro. Like, I'm just saying that, yeah, I hear it, but again, I'm not really getting much from it, like in terms of the content, because again, it's more of a dance album. That's me. Okay, I genuinely sorry.
I related. Okay. It was accessible to me. It was accessible to a lot of people in South Africa.
Yeah,
I think the content, it was perfect, bruh.
Oh, so you're gonna give it a 10?
It was perfect. It was a 10, bruh. 10 for content. Wow. It was a 10 for content.
All right, bruh. Hey, shout out. Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, you have a problem with that rating?
I do not have a problem. Hey, bro, you're giving them out. You're giving them out today, okay?
Asking, bro.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I think I think we got to our last
I think
our last criteria, which is replay value, and this is my favorite part. This is my favorite category. Every time we circle around to this part, I'd say, again, when we look at this album and the replay value, I'm already 10. I'm giving this a 10. This is a 10 out of 10 in terms of replay value. It's a 10 out of 10 because I can listen to this five years from the year it was released, and I still find myself having such a lovely time listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
Every song just gets me into the right vibe, even if like there's that one caveat but otherwise just it's just such a great. It has aged wonderfully,
bro. Like, I think everything that we touched on, from the production to the content, bro, like, it just adds more emphasis to the fact that this album, bruh, when we're naming Amapiano albums, staple Amapiano albums, which we will do over down the line, it's gotta be up there, bruh.
Definitely,
it has to be up there, bro. I'd say one of the most impactful dance albums in dance music.
Ooh,
in dance music. This is the album that ushered in the biggest and the best dance genre in the world right now.
Okay.
And this is the sound of Africa.
Stop banging the table,
now.
man. Hey, now it's loud.
I'm just saying, bro. This is the sound of Africa right now, bro.
Yeah, I'd say
Afrobeat has decided, know what? We're gonna do Afropiano now. Why?
Because
it all stems here.
Because things like this,
it all stems here from this album, bro.
I'd say, again, when you look at replay value, the fact that, as you've touched on, piano has gone on to be this huge, massive juggernaut, this monster. And I think even in 2019, 2018, during that time, we could see the bubbling, like, that, this new piano genre, it's nice, it's cool. And sometimes you have genres that it's like, this is quite nice for how long it's going to be in or trending. But for the fact that, like, we've seen how massive, to the fact that now it's the biggest genre in our country right now. Just like this album, again, that is, you can trace it as one of the most integral points. If we're looking at a timeline, this album has to be in that conversation. It has to be in that. It has to be then that discussion. And again, I had such a lovely time listening to this album. It has aged absolutely wonderfully, especially now with the context of how piano is now. Yeah, it's really fantastic.
Like Kelvin Momo, Abu Vigro Deep. All the other Unkuli, Mdu, all the other artists in the subgenres of Amapiano, I think they took a lot of inspiration from this, bruh. The replay value is, bruh, it's top notch, bruh. And if I had to give it a number and for the rating, it's another 10, bruh. It's another 10.
Ooh,
it's another 10.
Okay.
And overall, I feel like if it wasn't for Mark Kabza, this album would have been perfect, bro.
just that one. I think just that one song kind of just takes away from it just that little bit. And yeah,
don't you think we're being, what's the word that you use, like
nitpicking,
waxing lyrical?
We are waxing lyrical because it deserves to be praised. But as much as we're praising it, we also have to look at it as analysts, since we are analyzing and reviewing it. I think we do also need to not just have the bias, but also look at it from every single standpoint. So I feel like as much as we are like waxing lyrical, there is still that we can't just ignore it, because I feel like now it's going to be a bit inconsistent in my opinion. But I'd say overall as a project, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Yo, alright, bro. For me, bro, it's going to be a 10. Bro.
There it is.
It's going to be a 10.
There it is. I knew it.
The first perfect rating on this album from me. The first perfect rating on Tuned In Music, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
it had to be this one, bro.
Okay, fair.
It had to be this one, bro.
I'd say again, I'm not saying it's not. It is an incredible, great album. Obviously, I'm not gonna say for me it's not 10 out of 10 just because I just have that one song that just kind of takes me out of it just a little bit. Even though it sounds great, it just kind of took me out, and I can't just say for me. I feel like it would have been a bit inconsistent, but I think it is what it is. But yeah. Those are our ratings. I think just final thoughts. I'm gonna give this one to you, since you are the enthusiast, you are the aficionado of a piano. Just to sign us off.
I think
on the 5-year anniversary. On the 5-year anniversary, I think just to sum it up and all of that.
We need another one, bro.
Oh,
we need another. I know they've given us other. They returned again, and they did one for Konka, but we need another one, bro.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every time Scorpion Kings comes together, bro, the soundscape of Amapiano changes, bro. They bring in fresh new ideas, fresh new artists. They just reinvent the whole thing, bro. The whole shebang, bro.
No, they do.
This is just to sum it all off, bro. Like
into a nice, cute little bow,
bro. This is the album. It'll stay the album
of piano,
bro. Bro. Top notch, bro. I can't give him any much props from here, bro. And you?
I'll just sum it up because I don't want to because I feel like you've touched on everything.
Yeah.
I'll just say, if I want to introduce someone to piano, if I'm just introducing someone who has no idea what piano is, I'm giving them this album.
Yeah.
As an introduction,
Facts.
just to say, this, if you're gonna start out anywhere, you start right here. You start right here, because I feel like this kind of just has everything that kind of really was piano at that point, and sort of just like showing where it was heading and how it was going. And obviously now we see piano has evolved. The soundscape has just changed so much. But if we're just going to look at this album, honestly, it is such a significant album for piano, for SA music, for dance music as a whole. And yeah, man, the Scorpion Kings they cooked. And they rightfully so deserve to be placed rightfully at the top, because what they did here, it will stand the test of time.
Change the game, bro.
Change the game, bro. So yeah, that's our thoughts. That's what we think. Please let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of our thoughts and everything like that. But otherwise, stay tuned in.
Stay tuned in.